Hey y'all, it's Megan. If you're returning to my channel, welcome back, and if you're new, welcome aboard. So today I am stepping away from the Disney stuff one more time, and I'm going to be talking about some more of my personal stuff. A couple of weeks ago was OCD Awareness Week, and I was laying on the couch dying with some kind of cold allergy attack of some variety. I don't even know what was wrong with me, but I was sneezing myself absolutely to death. So I could not film a video that week, if you were wondering where I was. And then I just hadn't had an opportunity to kind of sit down and chat with you about my OCD experience until now. So here we are, a little bit late, but you know, it's never too late for some awareness. So I'm talking about how my OCD is manifested. Everyone's is a little bit different. There are generally like 4 different types of OCD, but I've talked a little bit in the past about how I mainly have contamination OCD, where, you know, it's the stereotypical freak out about germs kind of thing. That's where my primary obsessions and compulsions come in. The obsession obviously being everything is dirty, my hands are not clean, I'm afraid I'm gonna get sick. The compulsion being I have to wash my hands obsessively, and it's come to the lovely season where it's cold outside, and the hand washing combined with the dry cold air makes my hands get all cracked, and it's what my husband lovingly refers to as gator skin season. So my hands are gonna start getting all cracked and scaly and really super attractive. So that is one part of my OCD, and if you are interested in learning a little bit more about the contamination side of it, you can check out my other video. I'll link it up there and down in the description. It's talking about how I deal with OCD and emetophobia, specifically at Disney. So, you know, check that out. And if you have any questions, as always, make sure that you leave those down below. But today I'm talking about a different aspect of OCD that I, in particular, have. And it goes along with intrusive thoughts, which is one of the main things that you see with people who have OCD. You know, you have intrusive thoughts, you have obsessions, that's the intrusive thoughts, and you have compulsions. My thoughts center around people pleasing, and one of the big things that you will see as kind of a recurring theme if you have OCD or if you know someone who has OCD is reassurance seeking. So in relation to OCD, I was looking to see how the reassurance is connected to having OCD, and the reassurance seeking is the compulsion. That's the act that is done in the hopes of relieving the obsessive anxiety inducing thought. So I always thought that the needing approval and needing to know that everything was okay and making sure that everything was right, I was like, why does no one else do this? Why am I the only person who's always like, are you sure you're okay? Is everything all right? What did I do? And that's part of these intrusive thoughts, and that's the compulsion to try to alleviate those thoughts. Does that make any sense? Although it seems like it's not that big a deal to just want to make sure that everything's okay, sometimes it's like it can interfere with things, to constantly need reassurance, to constantly need that approval. What if I don't listen to them? Something bad could happen because I didn't listen, because I didn't get approval. That's where the cycle of these intrusive thoughts comes in. It's just like it's constantly kind of nagging at you there, and you can't get it to just like shut up, go away, even though you know that it's irrational, you know that it's not going to happen. That's one of the main issues that people who suffer with OCD or any other kind of mental illness, a lot of times they know, like for a certainty, this is irrational. There's no reason for me to be freaking out about this. There's nothing I can do about it. There's not even a problem, but you can't make it go away. So a couple of ways that these needs to get approval and to please people have affected me, and you may see some of these in your everyday life. You may feel like this with some stuff. Don't think that means like I'm sitting here telling you you have OCD. Odds are you don't. Don't let anyone on the internet tell you that you have OCD. You may not, but you are always, you know, encouraged and supported if you do want to go and seek out some help or some advice on that. And I'm always here to chat with you if you want to talk about any experiences you've had, but I'm not here to give any medical advice. Obviously, I am not a doctor. So one of the ways that's like very simple to see in the ways that I want to please people, and I constantly want to please people, you don't say no, even if no is what you mean. You know, if someone asks you if you like something and you're like, absolutely, yes, yes I do, I hate it. But you can't offend them by saying that you don't like it. Haircuts. Let's talk about haircuts. When you go and you get a haircut, your stylist, theoretically, is there to do what you want them to do. You tell them what you're going for, or you give them free rein if that's your jam, and they style and cut your hair. I have obviously had very short hair for a hot minute now, and I initially cut it all off to donate. And that was my entire goal in growing it out, was to donate it. Did that, and then had it short, and then I was like, oh, you know what, I kind of like it short. But then I decided that I wanted to grow it out. And I was like, okay, I kind of miss having long hair. I miss when I'm having a bad hair day, being able to just like throw it up in a ponytail. You can't do that when you got 2 inches total of hair. So I was like, okay, it's time to start growing my hair back out. And people would be like, don't you need a haircut? What are you doing with your hair? And I'm like, oh, my hair doesn't look good. I can't make it look good. And I would need to go and get it cut because I would feel like people were looking at me and people were judging, and like, you know, I need that approval. I need people to be like, oh, your hair looks really good. Even though I don't really care. Like, that's another one. I don't care if people like my hair or not. Really don't. But it would make me start to question whether I liked it. And I'm like, well, maybe I don't want it long. Or people would say, oh, you look so good with short hair. I can't pull that off. And I'm like, okay, so I'm supposed to have short hair. That's what I need. I'm supposed to have short hair. But then in the back of my mind, I'm still going, but I really miss having ponytails and like having like long hair to play with sometimes, and to look kind of girly, or I don't, you know, instead of a cockatoo, I look kind of like a cockatoo today. Do I please people and keep my hair short? Do I please myself and grow it out? What do I do? So I just keep cutting it. I keep going shorter and shorter and shorter. And sometimes that's not intentional. Going back to saying no, even if that's what you mean and you can't do it. When I got my hair cut last time, I said I am trying to grow this top part out. You know, even if I keep it short, I at least want this to kind of frame my face a little bit. I don't want to always have it either spiked up like this or like just laying combed over, because I look kind of like my dad. Sorry, Daddy. You know, I don't want these itty bitty little short bangs, and that's totally a style, and if you're rocking it, you go. But it's just not my jam. I don't feel like it looks good on me. So I was like, I'm trying to grow this out. I guess she didn't hear me, or she didn't like remember by the time she got to up here, because I mean, this had grown out a little bit and it was kind of over, you know, level with my eyes. And she took it and she just went straight across it, and here we are. And she's like, how do you like it? I love it. It's perfect. I love it so much. And then I went home and cried. I was like, oh my gosh, what happened? That was 6 months of hair growth, because my hair grows really slow. I was like, I don't know what to do. My hair is now super short again because I couldn't say like, hey, stop, what are you doing? Leave that alone. Because I'm so afraid of offending people. So instead now I have hardly any hair up here. And so I have actually, if you see me in a future video, I may or may not do this, I got me some fake hair. So there's this wig, and I know that it doesn't look super realistic or natural or anything, but it makes me feel a little bit better while I'm trying to grow my hair out. With people pleasing, there's a lot of what if. So like, what if I try to grow my hair out and it doesn't look good? What if I cut it and I hate it? What if I don't do anything and it still looks terrible? Like, just these constant what if, the constant uncertainty, and you never know what the right answer is, and there's not a right answer. That's what people with OCD have a hard time grasping, or at least I do. There's not always a right answer. Like, it's literally a choice. Pick something. And everyone else in the world is somehow able to decide. Long hair, short hair, pick one, move on. And I'm like having an identity crisis. I'm like, I don't know what I need, I don't know what I want, because I've heard so many different things. You know, some people are like, oh, short hair on girls. I don't know how I feel about that. And some people are like, oh, you can really pull that off. And I'm like, I don't know what I want, because I am so used to listening to other people's opinions. Which brings me to the title down there. I wore the wrong dress for my wedding. And I don't mean I ordered a dress And when I got it, it was the wrong one, and I didn't know or anything like that. I had a dress picked out from the time I was early college. I know for a fact that when I was at Disney working in 2012, I knew about this dress. I picked it out. I had a photo of it on my phone. And I had not met Cameron. Well, I mean, I had met him. We knew each other in middle school. I wasn't dating him, wasn't talking to him. I was not anywhere close to getting married. I was 19. And I decided that this was the dress that I wanted to wear for my wedding one day. I took a picture of it, kept it on my phone, and I showed everyone because it was a Disney-inspired dress. It was one of the Alfred Angelo dresses. It was the Snow White style 207, if you're curious. So that was the dress that I wanted for my wedding. And I was like, this is the dress. That's what I want. And when I finally got engaged and it was time to go and look for dresses, and I was like, this is the one. I need to go find this dress. It was an older style by then. Obviously, it had been, you know, several years since that one came out. They had newer styles. So I had trouble finding a place that actually had the dress or could get the dress. I went to a different state because I was calling all around to places that carried Alfred Angelo dresses, and I was like, do you have this style or can you get it for me to try? And I finally found a place, and I drove to, like I said, a different state to go and try it on. Got there, told them which dress I wanted. They were like, okay, well, let's pick a couple of different ones, and, you know, we'll try some different stuff just to make sure, because, you know, it's your wedding. You want to be sure. I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. Logical. So I tried all the dresses on, and I tried on the Snow White one, and I loved it. And I was like, oh, it's so cute, and it's so girly. I tried on a couple other ones that I didn't really like. And then I tried on the Cinderella version. And I was like, okay, this one's not too bad. The bridal studio where I was one of the studios where it's like kind of open and multiple families are like in different parts of a big room. And there was a lady there with her daughter who was just like right over next to us. And when I put on the Cinderella dress, she turned around like this and just looked at me. Her daughter was behind her. And she's just looking at me going, that dress is perfect. I love that dress on you. Oh my gosh, you have to get that dress. And the daughter was like, hey mom, should I try that one on? And she goes, no, you won't look as good in it as she does. And in my mind, I'm like, okay, maybe this is the right dress. Look at the attention it's getting. Look at the response that this is getting. This is getting approval from people I don't even know. Like people I didn't even ask. Which is also kind of weird that they were just like watching me while I'm trying on my dress. But anyway, I decided to get that one because I was like, if these random people like it so much, maybe it looks great. I was like, maybe this is the right one. So I decided to get that one, even though I had come there specifically because they sold the Snow White dress. I ended up getting the Cinderella one. Months later, get the dress. They asked me when I went to try it on, they were like, do you love it as much now as you did when you tried it on? And I couldn't say no because I wanted to make everyone happy, but it didn't look right. It wasn't the dress I wanted. It didn't look as good on me, mainly because when I was trying it on, I was standing on a pedestal, and the dress was the sample dress that I was trying on was much bigger than my final dress size was. So, you know, they had it all clamped in and made it exactly form-fitting, and it was a lot longer. I'm short, so they had to order me the petite size of the dress, and I had to have several inches of the skirt like taken up in alterations. So it didn't have the same long mermaid style kind of line as it did when I was standing on this pedestal 6 inches up in the air with the dress like really form-fitting. It didn't fit as nicely. The shape didn't look right, and it wasn't exactly what I had pictured. But I had ordered this dress. It took a long time to get in. I had a very short engagement. I was only engaged for 4 months before my wedding. So there wasn't honestly time, even if I had been bold enough to say no, it's not right. There wasn't really time to do anything else. So I was like, absolutely, I love it. Which, are we seeing a trend here? you know, in all reality, it really does not matter what dress you're wearing. To me at least, the wedding and the marriage are the important thing. It's not really anything about what I was wearing or the food or anything. None of that really matters in the long run. But I always now kind of wonder, should I have gotten the Snow White dress? Would I have gotten it if that lady hadn't been there? I think I would have. That was a long, rambling, nonsensical video. If you've stuck around, thank you, and I'm sorry. I don't know that any of this was helpful at all, but it felt good for me to kind of like get it out. I like to be open and honest with y'all, and if anyone is having similar struggles, it's nice to know you're not alone. So I'm always here to chat. I know a lot of people have talked to me about skin picking situations, which I've mentioned before. You know, link up there and down there once again. Basically, if you need to tell someone anything, I am here. Feel free to DM me on Instagram or send me an email. My email is on my channel page, and it's also always in the description, so feel free to reach out if you are not comfortable leaving a comment, if you want someone to talk to, if you just need to vent about something, because I've done this for how many minutes now? Like close to 30. I don't know, once I edit it, hopefully shorter than that. Too long, didn't read. Long story short, whatever. You don't need to please everyone. Make sure that you are happy with your life and how you are doing things. That's a good way to wrap it up. So I will see you guys in my next video. Bye, y'all.